What if I told you that you could own real estate and make passive income at the same time? Or what if I told you that you could be earning up to 50% of your living expenses passively through co-living rental space in your home? Would you be the first to sign up? Well, I'm gonna leave you with 2 words: house hacking. If we haven't met before, my name is Jay. I'm a local real estate agent, and this channel is designed and created to share out-of-the-box ways that millennials just like yourself can leverage real estate for their future generations. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about a term in the real estate market that we call house hacking. So what is house hacking? House hacking is the idea of earning passive income through renting out a portion of your property. Now, the setup can look a plethora of different ways. It could be a live-in unit, you could be renting out a bedroom. The structure of how you rent it out can be very different depending on your property. But the benefits are really that you are now becoming a landlord and using some of that passive income to help with your lifestyle living in this property. Part of house hacking is that you actually live in the property at the same time so that you are reaping the benefits of home ownership, living in the property as your primary residence, but you have this passive income, being able to free up budget for you to use in other investments or in ways that you can put some sweat equity into your property and continue to improve the home that you're living in. So with all real estate strategies, there are some pros and cons. So let's dive into those now. Starting with the cons, some risks to take into consideration before jumping into house hacking are things like the fact that you are now going to be a landlord. So of course you are going to want to make sure that you are being compliant with regulations both municipally and provincially to ensure that you're giving that true best experience for your tenants. That brings me to my next point of tenant management. So of course, by being a landlord, you are a business owner and your tenants are going to call for when things break, or they're going to call you when there's concerns with the property. So you truly are taking on, in some cases, another time job by being a landlord. There is some nuance also around the vacancy. So a lot of landlords go into house hacking or into an investment property and they don't consider vacancy rates. So naturally throughout the tenure of having that property, there are going to be periods of time that the unit is vacant. And during those periods of time, you are going to need to account for those money, those funds, or that income and cover that added expense, be it that it's between tenants or that you're trying to update and renovate that space. You're always going to want to make sure that you have vacancy built into your budget. In addition to that nuance, something else to consider is your exit plan. So when it comes to the time that you are wanting to step away from this property and you're looking to sell this multifamily home, there is a little bit of nuance because there is a smaller market looking for multifamily homes. We also know historically that tenanted properties tend to sit on the market just a little bit longer because the idea is that these new buyers would need to assume that current tenant, and not everybody is looking to assume tenants. Something else to consider when approaching house hacking is you are going to give up a little bit of the experience of living in that home by maybe giving up a little bit of your privacy. You're probably going to need to live in a smaller space, but are these considerations worth that added income? That is a question that you'll have to answer. The last con that I always like to mention is, of course, by just having more people living in the property, that natural wear and tear is going to happen a lot faster. So as the landlord and the homeowner, you're going to want to take that into account when considering house hacking. We know some of the cons, but let's dive into some of the pros. So of course, the first one that we can't go by without mentioning is the increase in passive income. Now this would be an additional income stream, and that could really change the landscape of what your budget looks like. So of course, the goal is that we're covering off as much of that monthly expense, but maybe you decide that you want to use that additional income to put back into the property in the form of sweat equity. Sweat equity is when you improve your home and you build equity so that that when you're ready to sell, that product is better, that home is better than when you got it, ideally selling for a higher amount of money. Something else to consider for house hacking as a benefit is that there is some tax deductions. So because you have that added income, you are actually able to get tax credit during your tax season. One of my favorite things about house hacking is that that added income also can help you qualify for a higher mortgage and more buying power so that you can ideally buy the better product and then start building that portfolio. Now, something that's really amazing about house hacking is you can rinse and repeat. And the idea of this rinse and repeat is you live in the property for a year so that you don't have to pay those capital gains. And then you take your equity from that first property and you go and look for another multifamily property and you do it again while filling now your first property with tenants, and those tenants' monthly lease amounts cover fully that product or that home, and then you rinse and repeat, live in the second one for another year and continue. And that is one way that millennials can build up their real estate portfolio in the current market. Now, I'm hoping that you have a better understanding of what house hacking is. We've laid out some of the pros and the cons. I have created a list, and it's a live active list from the MLS of multi-residential properties all under $1 million. And the reason that I picked under $1 million was because I want to give you the option of homes that you can purchase without needing that obligated 20% down. If this is something that interests you, check out that link below. It is updated in real time, and I was looking through it a little bit earlier, and there are some really beautiful options for multi-residential homes. If you found this video insightful and helpful, please like and subscribe. And we post videos just like this one weekly, sharing tips and tricks for millennial first-time homebuyers and first-time sellers navigating the real estate market. I'll see you next week.